tonight that aren't going to be here, and so I need to work with them. And I meant to record, so I just started my recording. So welcome, you guys. Sorry, I went through some of the stuff already. I'll catch you up on it. I've got a homepage set up. Maybe here you'll see it when it gets going. On D2L. There's not a ton of stuff on here, but some. The syllabus, we'll go through that real quickly. Stuff at the top, stuff that we put in all our stuff. Here's kind of the way the grading is going to go, right? I put in there at the instructor's discretion weekly assignments or quizzes or those types of things. I put that in there so that if I think you're starting to fail me a little bit or you're getting a little bit lazy about coming to class and doing those types of things, we'll have assignments and quizzes. Okay? If you're here working your butts off every class period, and don't get me wrong, I understand that people are going to be gone periodically for good excused reasons, and they're going to let me know either by email or phone call or something like that, right? Those things happen. We all understand that, but otherwise I kind of expect you to be here and working on your projects. Okay? If not, then we'll get some quizzes or assignments and do those types of things. So, but the business plan, we're going to break it up. I say the assignments, so 100 points each. That'll be the 4 main sections, which are going to be the finance, the marketing, management, organization, and the business description. Okay, so that'll be the 4 main sections, and they'll all be worth 100 points each. The business plan reviews, actually, you guys get 100 points for at the end of class, finals. You guys are going to present your plans. Okay, you'll present them verbally, okay, with maybe some stuff up here, some audio-visual types of things, okay, or visuals, I should say. So you're going to present those. And I'm going to give you guys 100 points each just for coming and helping me grade those presentations. Okay, so you'll show up, and I'm going to give you a little rubric to use, and you're going to fill it out for the other people that are doing their presentations and helping me grade those. Okay, and then lastly, you'll do your business plan and the final project. Okay, the final project, I say it's difficult. It is still to grade at the end, but if you guys have done everything well and you've changed things that I've asked you to change and done those types of things as we've gone along, I've already graded the 4 main sections, right? And so hopefully it won't be that daunting for me when it gets to the end. It always still is, kind of, to make sure you've put it together properly and done all those things. So, okay, but nevertheless, it shouldn't be that daunting if you go through things properly. And then standard grades that get applied to that. Tentative schedule, you can kind of look through that. Basically, the financials. Your financial plan is going to be due about the first part of February. Okay. And then we'll get into marketing. Management and organization part. A lot of this stuff in the management and organization part, stuff that just goes in the appendix. You're going to be just accumulating documents kind of there, I say, that are going to end up in the appendix. You're going to have a little write-up, probably just be a short couple pages for that particular section. And then we'll get into the business description of the business or business description. Ultimately, towards the end, then you'll write an executive summary that will go with the full business plan. That's the toughest part to write. 2 pages, again, just like your resume, it has to be 2 pages long. Not a page and a quarter and not 2 1/4. It should be right at 2 pages. Okay, I know that seems kind of odd, but 2 pages is kind of a magic when you're trying to get somebody's attention. That's why resumes and executive summaries are set at 2 pages. It's kind of a magic amount. It's what you'll keep somebody's interest. Beyond 2 pages, they're probably going to lose interest. So that's why we shoot for that, I guess. And then finals week or thereabouts, okay? And we might have to push that forward a little bit because, again, with the number that we have here, it'll depend on how we get teamed up and whatnot. We might have to do some presentations the week before finals week and then some presentations maybe in finals week, okay? And your projects will be due probably before then, hopefully a few days before finals week so that I can kind of get started on it because they do take me a bit of time to get through. So, questions about schedule or the syllabus or anything like that? None? You guys are easy. Gosh, I tell you. I got a couple little things. The Quirky Inventors website. There's a company that's called Quirky. Okay, now they went through Chapter 11 bankruptcy not too long ago, and I went back to their site and just went through it a little bit. But what they were originally set up for, and the only reason I put it on here, I thought their concept was really cool and novel. What they were set up where if you thought of an idea and you thought it'd be kind of a cool idea, but you really didn't have the technical expertise and whatnot to put it together, and you certainly didn't have the marketing skills and you didn't have those things, Quirky was the place you would go. You would submit your idea. They would talk about it internally. They also use social media and those types of things to get input from just people all over the country. And if the other people thought it was a good idea, then they would get the technical people involved to do the design and whatnot and how they would set up the manufacturing. They worked with GE a lot. GE helped them out. And then if it was a good idea and they did all that, then they would get it manufactured and they would market it and do those types of things. And they're kind of interesting. I've heard the guy interviewed a few times. There's products that when he first saw them, he thought, oh, that's just a dog crap idea. But everybody else liked it. And he'd have to give up, and he said some of those turned out to be some of the best products. So some things that you and I might not think are cool, they turn out to be kind of cool. But that's if you want to invent something new, which I'm all for. I would love to hear some new inventions coming out of the class, some good ideas like that. Okay, maybe a home brewing system, that's totally automatic. How would that be? Kind of like SodaStream. Maybe we could have BeerStream. There you go. It's a BeerStream instead of SodaStream. You just got to add your ingredients and poke a button, and you get whatever flavor beer you want, and it's fresh. Ooh. I just thought of that. You guys don't be stealing my idea now. This is just an article. These are actually just some funny pictures. If you want to look at them, that's fine. Templates. I think these are. We'll take a quick look at them. We won't spend much time because, like I say, I'll start. This just takes us to the. And hopefully some of these, I'll have to go back and check on them. I found out that when I set some of these classes up and imported some of my links aren't working properly. So if you want some of these things, instead of hitting the link on the home page, you might have to come up here to content right now. I'll try to get the links fixed, but I'm having to do this for all my classes, and I put myself behind a little bit. So if you're looking for these templates, for example, here, you can come to content. You'll be able to find them that way. These look complicated. I'll show you. And they are, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes in here. But these are so nicely put together, that it just makes it really sweet for us to do our work. Okay, and it shouldn't be too difficult for you. There's a couple of quirky things in here that we got to work with. Some of them I should maybe just try to get in and see if I can fix. One of them is up here. Folks like to, especially in an entrepreneurship class, you're going out and you're maybe accumulating a lot of information, and so you might even set up a separate spreadsheet where you're saying, I need to get 14 coffee makers or something at $14.99 a piece, and you do the math and you have it pick it up in this cell. You link it to this cell, and that's fine. But for whatever reason on this page, it wipes out anything beyond the decimal, so it rounds off everything. It does when it shows up here, okay? But then down here, when you're rounding up the money that you need to fund your project, if you put in a rounded amount, it's not going to say that it balanced, okay? Because up here, even though it rounds it off, the numbers that are beyond the decimal are still in there, and so it's not going to say that you're balanced. So if you do that, if you set up that other spreadsheet, okay, then you're going to have to make sure that the amount that comes over here is actually a rounded off amount, an even dollar amount. Let's put it that way. It needs to be an even dollar amount. Okay, whether you just hand write it in or hand type it in, that's fine, or you figure out how to get everything gone beyond the decimal or whatever. Okay, there's probably some formulas and stuff that we could figure out to do that if you need some help. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing, I don't like the way they do the amortization of the opening, and you guys from finance know this. And so, and also the effective tax rates and stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit, but I don't want to get into this a whole lot. But this is going to get changed to 1, and these will get changed to 0. Why don't we have a tax rate? You guys remember that from finance? Some of my good finance students that I'm looking at. Why don't? Thanks, Josie. That's right. Unless you're a C corporation. Yeah. If you're a C corporation, businesses don't pay income taxes, right? Okay, businesses don't pay income taxes. Okay, everything, unless you're a C corporation, and most of you, for a small business, will not form a C corporation. Okay, most of you will not form a C corporation. You'll probably be an LLC, an S corporation, a partnership, an LLP, an LP, or one of those, right? Or sole proprietorship is most often the easiest. Okay, so that's probably the type of entity that you're going to choose. Did I say general partnership? Because if there's more than one of you might be general partnership. Okay, you don't pay, the business then doesn't pay taxes. All the tax liability flows through to the owners in that case. Okay, and so the business itself does not pay any taxes, and so we're going to have to change those to zeros on there when we get to that. So, and then we got to change this to 1, the amortization period in years. I just don't like, in most cases, and I don't even know if they'd allow you to amortize your startup costs over 3 years. If the IRS would, and I don't know why you'd want to. And in most of our cases, the startup costs are going to be small enough. What amortization is kind of like depreciation. And so if you have a startup cost that's 60 grand, let's say, then if you're amortizing it over 3 years, that means you're writing off 20,000 of that startup cost over each of the first 3 years versus just writing off the whole 60,000 in the first year. Okay. Give me yeah, I don't know. You know, you could, if you really, you could make the argument that you might want to do that because in the first year you usually don't make any money anyways. Right. And so you amortize out some of those expenses in the second and third year, because then you're going to lower your income in the second and third years. You want to average out your income a little bit so you don't get into the higher tax bracket in subsequent years. I mean, I could make an argument for it, but be tough. If you want to do that, that's fine. If you get done too, this is one of those cases too. It's pretty easy to go back. So if you get all done and you see that in year 3, when you're looking at your income statement on here, you're going to be making $250,000 and you're a little bit worried about that, well, maybe we'll go back and change the amortization to 3 years. I mean, that may be as simple as coming back and changing this number. Okay, so it shouldn't be that difficult. Okay. Anyhow, again, I didn't want to get into that, but you see these you're going to be filling out. Okay, but you're looking at them and there's a whole lot of blanks there and this and that. A lot of this fills out automatically, so you're going to fill in that first sheet and then it's going to fill in a bunch of this other stuff. You're going to have to go to a second and third sheet and fill in some, and then the fourth and fifth sheet you're going to have to fill in a couple little things, make a couple little changes here and there. But this does a lot of the work for you. Okay, I really like this template. It's really pretty sweet. They've done a pretty nice job of putting it together. Like I say, except a couple quirky things that I have, and every now and then I'll see something that's maybe a little different. Ultimately, to the balance sheet, if you do things right, it's going to balance itself. We used to have to balance in subsequent years. That was kind of the biggest fight that we had in finance and entrepreneurship, and this kind of takes care of it for you as long as you put the stuff and you don't make too many crazy changes and whatnot. It also gives you some cool things here. It does the break-even analysis for you. That used to drive people crazy. Again, if you're putting the information in, it just does it automatically for you, and I love break-even analysis. Okay, as an old banker, that's what I really liked seeing was break-even analysis. Gives you ratios. Okay, this will be good for your financial write-up, and it just does all this for you. Okay, so it's just really neat. Some other different things that it does, things you might want to. I don't think you need to come back here and change anything. But it'll fill in a lot of this stuff. If you're going to be a manufacturer, you're going to produce something, here's a cost of goods calculator that you will use. Most of us aren't going to do that. Most of us are probably going to be a service provider or retailer. That's my guess. But if you're going to actually make something, then you might want to use this cost of goods calculator that we would use here. But you probably won't use this if we're going to be a retailer or service provider. Okay, everybody know kind of what the difference is there when I say that? Okay. Here's amortization and depreciation. Again, lots of stuff here. It's all filled in automatically for you. When you do the stuff at the beginning, just going to fill it in for you. And that's just some notes. These are notes that they put on there, so you can kind of ignore those. You may want to, like I said, when you start writing up your startup, it shouldn't be called expenses, your startup investment, buying the things that you're going to need and investing in the things that you're going to need to start your business. Some people might want to set up another whole spreadsheet. If you're opening up a coffee shop, what are you going to need? Well, you're going to sell some coffee mugs, you're going to need paper cups, you're going to need styrofoam cups, you're going to need coffee pots, you're going to need tables, you're going to need chairs, you're going to need a cash register. And you might want to start, putting that onto another spreadsheet. Said let it do the work, and then you can just put the main number, the big number, back into that startup that we have. Okay, and that's fine. Okay, that's fine. You'll do that just by, I'd have to click enable editing, and then you just hit the plus sign, and you can add another spreadsheet to that. Okay, give it a label, whatever you want, startup costs or something like that. So, okay, questions about that? And you should have lots of questions about that, but we're going to go into this in far more detail as we go along. Okay, I'll go through probably each one of these and explain them, and get you guys going on those. So. Links. I put some links on here. I like at some point in your plan, you're going to do either a SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, right? Or, and my preference is forces. I like forces. It's kind of similar. We go through some similar things. This is just a link to something that's forces. This quick MBA for marketing gives you it's a nice template for a marketing plan. Unfortunately, you can't copy and paste, but I had a student years ago that typed it all up for me, so I think I've got that under the templates maybe for the marketing thing. But you can take a look in there, and it kind of talks about some of those things. This business plan toolkit, let's just click on that and show you. It just gives you some ideas here. If you click around through here, starting up a business, and give you some ideas on your business plan. So you may want to spend some time between now and next week or whatever. You can click on this and just mess around in there. It'll tell you about the things that should be in your marketing section. It'll tell you about the things that should be in the management and organization section. It'll tell you about some of those different things and how to go about doing it. So it's a pretty good resource. It's kind of in lieu of your textbook, right? So I found some of these sites, and they will kind of operate in lieu of a textbook. This is the same thing. I mean, it's not the same thing, but it's a similar thing, another way to give you some information. Walk you right through. You might have some templates in there themselves for, it's been a while since I've looked at this one. The IRS depreciation link, you probably don't need that anymore, and the reason is because the new template does the depreciation for you. It already breaks it down based on what type of things you're buying. Okay, real property, buildings, those types of things, they depreciate over 20 or 25 years, something like that. Equipment's generally 7 years, computers 5 years, whatever the case may be. It does it all for you. Thank the template. Okay. That's an old website that I used to maintain. I think I don't even have that on there. I probably need to get rid of that. These are some old articles. I'm not even sure that they're there. The local data link, this one might be kind of cool. See if it's still there. Yeah, there you go. When you get doing your business description, right, okay, you're going to have to tell me not just about the business, but you're going to have to tell me about the community where your business is going to be, the area where it's going to be, what the population is like, what those types of things, what the median income is, et cetera, okay? And so this one I had, so it comes up to Havre, but certainly you can come up then and change, change the area if you're going to do your business in Lewistown or wherever it might be. Might even have for Canada. I'm not sure. Would you start a business way up there?
Of course.
Like an igloo business? Refrigeration wouldn't be necessary. A heating, huh?
I said you gotta learn the facts.
Yeah. A heating business, that would probably go over pretty well. I'm picking on Kylie for you guys that don't know. She's from is it within the Arctic Circle?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yes, it is.
I thought it might be. It's like way the heck up north up there. So, have they been really cold here lately?
Yeah, it's actually pretty much the same as here.
Oh, really? Well, that's not too bad then. It's not bad. Are they gonna warm up next week like us?
No.
Yeah. Bummer. That's too bad. We're supposed to warm up next week. We'll see. I've got different PowerPoints, and I might use those when we go through, you know, and when we get to talking about marketing. Okay, again, I'll come in and I'm not going to belabor you with long, you know, hour-long lectures or anything like that. I'll probably spend 15 minutes and go through, here's some of the basics that you guys need for your marketing. Here's, you know, how it should be set up, et cetera, et cetera. Here's a template. I should have templates in here, I think, for the entire business plan. It's probably under this thing that says templates. Let's take a look. You'll probably want to download it instead of there you go. And it's got all. I think this differs a little bit from how I got it set up, because it's got products and services instead of business description. I think business description should be a part of your or products and services should be a part of your business description, if that makes sense. So we might move this around a little bit, some of the stuff. But it also gives you some hints, you know, as you're going through it. Okay. You're going to find too, as I was glancing through that, you're going to find too that when you go through some of this stuff, you're going to feel like there's a little bit of redundancy. Okay, in your marketing plan, you're going to have to describe for me a little bit the products and services that you're going to sell, right? When you get to the business description, guess what? You're going to kind of tell me again, probably using a little different language. You know, you're probably going to have to rejigger it a little bit, but you're going to tell me again, probably in more detail there, about the products and services that you're actually going to be selling. Okay, so occasionally, I mean, you're going to be typing and you're going to be saying, yeah, this sounds like something I already did. That's kind of normal. Okay, so you'll do that. Don't worry about that when you get to that point. Okay. What have I missed? Anything? Yeah, what I want you to do then, your assignment for Tuesday is, of course, to go through all of this stuff on here, but also, one, determine what type of business. Okay, write it down. I think I might even have a Dropbox for it. Let's check. There it is, business idea. Okay, so what type of business? Okay, and I'll have you do that. And some of you guys might not know each other or whatnot, and that's fine. But then I'll look through those, maybe Tuesday or whenever. I want those by Tuesday at class. I'll glance through those, and if I see that, you know, Joe and Pete are each wanting to do, you know, a bakery, and they don't know each other, I might say, hey, Joe and Pete, why don't you guys get together and you know, figure that out. One might even be doing a coffee shop, and one might be doing a bakery, and I say, you know, those two might go okay. Or a donut shop and a bakery. I like donut shops too. Nobody's done a donut shop. Somebody needs to do a donut shop here in Havre. We used to have one. I enjoyed that too. So nobody wants to make donuts anymore. You can do donuts and bagels. Sometimes, you know, you don't like the full sweet, you know, gooey flavor of a donut, so you have a bagel instead. Be all right. Am I giving you guys some good ideas? Okay. Beer stream, I think, still. Somebody's got to invent the beer stream for me. So you can see I got drop boxes. You know, we'll go through places for you to put some of these things as we go along. The financials, you'll submit to me in parts. You'll finish up a part, and I want to go through them and look at them, make sure that you're on track. Okay. Otherwise, if I wait till the end and you submit it and you've made errors at the beginning, yeah, it's a bugger to go back and try to fix. So we try to stay on top of those. Okay. Again, you're going to have some class time. Is it going to take some time out of class too? Yeah. Okay. Probably the biggest thing, especially for those of you that were in finance, you know, even on the financials, this needs to be more rigorous. You need to spend some time researching some stuff. Okay. You need to make a phone call or two. You need to, you know, do some. When I say a phone call or two, well, what do I mean? Well, if you're going to open up an auto body shop, Havre needs an auto body shop. No, we got some auto body shops here, don't we? Right there. And then there's some other ones. Yeah. In fact, I should know that because she's finishing my pickup right now. So, yeah. we don't have an auto body program up here in Northern. That's what I was thinking. God, it's terrible getting old. Your mind wanders. I got a cartoon about that. Let me see if that's one that's on here. There it is. What was I talking about? How about, call around, okay? If you're going to open a donut shop, we don't have a donut shop here in Havre, right? They sell donuts at IGA, but we don't have a specific donut shop. Well, maybe they got a donut shop in Shelby. I don't know if they do or not. Maybe they got one in Cut Bank. Maybe they got one in Anaconda or Butte or something like that, right? Get on the horn and call them. Hey, what's it like? You know, what kind of business do you get? If you're in Anaconda, it's probably similar in size to Havre, right? And so maybe they got a donut shop down there. So do a little research and try to find that stuff up. I find that students today, you guys get so much on the internet, right? That's your immediate default, right? When I turn you loose on this, you're all going to go to Google and you're going to start typing in stuff and finding stuff, and that's fine. You can find a lot of information that way, but there's nothing wrong with getting on the horn, okay, and calling somebody. The other very good resource, and Joe tells me that very few people come down and take advantage of it. Very few of my students go down and take advantage of it. Why? I don't know. He's there. He's free. He'll give you all the help that you guys might want. And it's Joe LaPlante at Bear Paw Development. Okay, that's what he does. Okay, his job is to help people that are going into small business write up business plans so that they can take them to banks and other financial institutions and get loans so that they can start businesses. Okay. That's his job. And does that apply to college students as well? Absolutely. Okay. He's come to my small business management class oftentimes and talked about being more than willing. He would love to see college students come in there and get some help. He can help you out with a lot of industry statistics. Okay. So if you're going to open up a donut shop, what's going to be your gross margin? You don't know, right? Okay. He knows. Okay. And you could probably search for it. You might find it on the internet. It might be easier just to call Joe. I think it's 265-9626. Might be 9226. I can't remember. Bear Paw Credit Union's one, and Bear Paw Development, I think, is the other, or something like that. So it's kind of confusing. But you give Joe a call or go down and see him, okay, and he'll help you find that information. He's got a lot of that information right at his fingertips. Okay, he does that all the time, day in, day out, and so feel free to go use his services. I'm not doing anything wrong by telling you to go down and do that. He would love to see you walk through his door and darken his doorway and use him. So feel free. Any other questions? I think I've hit most everything that I wanted to hit for the first day here. You guys have your assignment for Tuesday. Okay. If you're gonna be in teams, if you know teams that you want to get together, people that you want to get together within a team, okay, let me know, maybe via email or something, or even on Tuesday. I guess you can let me know in class on Tuesday, just so I get I know how to set that up and everything. I think my drop boxes, let me check something here. Drop boxes are, they're goofy. So they're set up for groups, and that's kind of how I'll try to do it. I might have to change some of my other ones to be set up for groups so that when you submit it, I only have to correct one. It'll give you the same score then for everybody in the group. So that's how I kind of want to do it. I'll try to get that set up. So, but I think that's what this means, is groups. I don't have it set up that way through the other one, so I'll try to do that. So, and that way you don't only have to submit one. Each group would just have to submit one to that type of thing. For the business idea, that's obviously an individual one. So even if you got kind of a group, everybody go ahead and submit your business. You could say, hey, I'm going to do a donut shop with JC and Kylie, right? Okay, you could do something like that if that's what it's going to be. Okay. Questions? Who's going to do the beer stream? Nobody wants to do a beer stream? Gosh dang it. Okay. That's all I got for today. if nobody has any questions. I should be like Lanny. Make you ask 5 questions before you leave.
Oh my gosh.
You guys don't want to do that?
That's horrible.
Why? Lanny said that to me. He said he made his class do that. And I said, well, I'd say, Lanny, how old are you? He said, that'd work. I say, Lanny, how many kids you got? That'd work, right? What's your wife's name? Right? How tough is it to come up with 5 questions? Gosh, you guys just that embarrassed to talk, to a teacher or something? So, gosh. For those of you that don't know me, I didn't even introduce myself, I'm sorry. For those of you that don't know me, that haven't had me for classes, and there are a few of you, my name's Byron, okay? And I've been here at the college for 15 years. Before that, for 17 years, I was a banker. So I've reviewed, I never had to write up a business plan, shame on me, but have I reviewed dozens and dozens of them? Oh yeah, okay, lots and lots of them. I shouldn't say I never had to write them up, because back in the old days, they never had anybody to help out, so I'd have customers come in and we would painstakingly kind of sit down and go through it, but they weren't nearly as, I hate to say this, but that was before personal computers and stuff. I'm that old, and so they weren't nearly as detailed as what my expectations are for you guys. You guys have access to so many tools that it's become quite a bit easier to put these together, so our expectations get bigger, right? So, there you go. See you on Tuesday.
For business finance, or is it on?
Yeah, there's a book for finance.
There's a book for finance,
Yep.
okay. I think I gotta go just renew my stuff, so that's
Yeah.
because I saw there was like a website, but
Yeah.
I didn't know if I got like a hard copy.
I think the book's, it's listed in the syllabus.
Okay,
Yeah, but they'll know.
all right.
They'll have a resource.
All right.
For what? Just working on
Hey, Byron. So, is it okay if we treat this like a real business plan?
Absolutely.
Because I kind of want to do a part-time thing when I get out of school until I can get a customer base enough to go out on my own.
Yeah.
I got a job in Great Falls lined up for May that I just accepted a couple days ago,
Cool.
but I might buy my aunt's house, which
Yeah.
is quite a few miles outside of Great Falls, but I'd like to do some repairs in my garage and stuff and get my business license and stuff like that. So
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm leaning towards. So
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's fine.
because I'm probably gonna go down to talk to Joe.
Good.
He told us that when we had him for service management. But
Oh, really? Joe came in for your service management class?
in Wayne's class.
Yeah.
Yep.
Good for
yeah.
Wayne. Get him in there, because Joe's
Yeah.
good. It was funny. The first time I had him come in and talk to my small business management class, he'd been on the job for less than 30 days.
Oh wow.
Poor guy. He was so nervous. Sweat was just pouring off
Right,
of him.
right.
He still did okay, but it wasn't his best. But I've had him come back since, and he's great. He does a really good job with it and whatnot. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've been meaning to go down and talk to him. I'm not ready,
Yeah.
like I said, to go rent a shop or anything like
Right.
that because I want to get some customers and
Right.
nobody wants to hire a kid to fix their stuff who's just out of college and 22 years old, right?
You'd be surprised. No, you'd be
But-
surprised, because there's lots of people that are trying to cut some corners,
That's true.
trying to save a buck or two, and
That's
that's probably
true.
going to be your entry point, is you're
Right.
going to be a little bit of a low cost,
Right. I don't have any
deliverer.
overhead, kind of.
Yep. You're not going to have the overhead and whatnot,
Yep.
so you're going to be a low cost provider. You're maybe not going to be as full service as some of the other places.
Right. Right.
Maybe you're not going to tear apart and rebuild transmissions,
Right.
whatever the case may be. But yeah, so nothing wrong with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going. So
It's good. Yeah, Joe's a good resource. So
cool.
use
All right.
it. All right. You bet.